I have an unexpected day off work today. So I thought I would be responsible and do a podcast episode. We'll see if I can string together enough cogent thoughts to put something out there for you all. But yeah, I work was looking to be a pretty busy week. My fellow rep in the area is on vacation, so I had to pick up a lot of his work. But it turns out his work is not, well, at least what I got, is he pushes stuff off. So I had a lot of old work that didn't take that long, and blah, 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 blah. And I ended up kind of done with my schedule. And so I took today off. I'm sick. Can't you tell? That was probably rude. Coughing in your ears like that. It's been a while. I am now I'm an equivalent podcast host as runner, right? So I'm not really good at either anymore. And I'd argue that I never was a very good podcast host. I was a talker for sure. But anyway, blah, 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 blah. Here I am. I'm back. I got up this morning. I slept in till almost 7 a.m. Whew. And I got up and went and got some soda. Went to a bagel shop. Had my bagels. Had planned to record something in there. I kind of like the ambient sounds every now and then, but the air conditioning was really pumped up and I was just a little too chilly and thought I would come to the relative warmth or overwhelming warmth, I guess, of my car. It's what time is it? It's about 8:22 and it's already mid 80s outside. Yeah, yuck. It's hot everywhere, isn't it? Except for you, Kate. You're probably chilly down there in Australia. But, here where it's summertime in the Northern Hemisphere, it seems to be warm everywhere. Claire, oof. If I could send you an air conditioner, I would. Ooh, excitement going by. An ambulance going down the street. So, anyway, let's get to it. It is Friday, July 29th, 2022. And as of this recording, I'm still depressed, but I'm not dead. So I hear you asking, JP, what have you been up to? Well, I actually have some stories to tell. I've done stuff. I've done actual things in the world, out of doors and some indoors, but out of the confines, the comfort, the bliss of my house. And I am going to tell them to you now. I went on vacation, right? Nora and I went on vacation with Dave and his wife. It was, I don't know how I got wrangled into going on a couple's vacation, but, we did. We went on vacation. We went to Vermont and we hung out at this really nice it was a hotel, but really kind of New Englandy and, maybe more expensive a place than I am necessarily comfortable being at. But we went and we spent 5 days, 4 nights. I think that's how 4 nights, 5 days, whatever. And did some things. We went to the Ben and Jerry's factory, which was delicious, educational. We went to a working farm kind of thing. We did some other stuff, but I don't know. We went and hiked with one of Nora's friends and her husband one day. We ate some good food. We had lots of ice cream, and it was nice. It was nice to get away. It was nice to spend time with Dave and his wife. I guess we can name Kim, right? Kim. We named her. And we bookended, Nora and I bookended that week in Vermont with weekends at her mom's apartment in the Bronx. And I don't know why it's called the Bronx, right? Why isn't it just Bronx? But I questioned that while we were there, but I never took the time to look it up. And we did some things there. We went across the Brooklyn Bridge. We went to the 9/11 World Trade Center Memorial. Did some kind of sightseeing. It was just interesting being in a city like that. I've been to New York City, but not hung out. And when I was talking, when we went to the Brooklyn Bridge and walked across, and it was actually a thing, right? I mean, there were hordes of people walking across the Brooklyn Bridge, and I was like, I didn't realize this was a thing. And Nora and I got to talking, and when it comes in general, when it comes to things that I have reverence for, things that I appreciate, there's not really much in the United States that's man-made that I have reverence for, right? Like Hoover Dam is one thing. Probably, I don't know, Mount Rushmore, maybe, things that are of impressive achievements like that. There's a couple of things in Washington, D.C. There's like the Abraham Lincoln Memorial, which is just a gigantic statue of Abe sitting in a chair, right? And it sounds lame to say it like that, but like I see that, and I have, I don't know if I feel something or I appreciate it. But when I think of things in the U.S., I think of natural things, Yosemite, Smoky Mountains, Grand Canyon, the breadth and the length of the Mississippi River, stuff like that. And when I need to think of like Europe as an example of a place I've been to, or Japan, where there's history, right? I mean, here in the U.S., I mean, we've got, indigenous Americans, and I don't know. I'm sorry, I'm not PC enough to know what phrase I should be using, but the Native Americans, there's history there, but we don't really have much of it, right? And then, but we go to England or something, and there's a church that was built in 200 CE, right? I was like, wow. Or giant cathedrals that were built in the 1500s, and whatever, castles, whatever. And I have reverence for those things, those man-made things, like things that have withstood the test of time. Whereas here in America, everything is relatively new, right? And when we were at the memorial, the 9/11 memorial, I'm my cold and unfeeling self, so the loss of life was what did not move me. There was a time shortly after, probably back in very late 2001, 2002, when I can recall having a kind of emotional reaction to, the internet was still in its toddlerhood, we'll say. But you could find, the videos of the attacks and the planes and the blah, 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 and all that. And, and I remember having emotional reactions to those, but not so much now. Like I recognized displays, exhibits that would, in general, would provoke some kind of emotional feeling. There's one part where they're just putting up, lighting up images on walls, and it's all the missing person posters that people put up because they didn't know, was my husband, was my whoever, were they in the building, or they just lost, whatever. And that's kind of gut wrenching, right? I mean, how many? That's sheer number of missing posters and all that. And I understood that would be emotional for most people, but I really didn't feel anything, and not unexpectedly. I mean, this is nothing new, but yeah. So we did that. We had this vacation. We did a vacation. Wow. And then my firstborn of my own genetic makeup creation turned 18, which means we're just 2 years removed from my youngest being 18, at which point I can start maybe calling them by their names, all of them. But she turned 18, and some time ago I said, "What do you want for your birthday? What do you want to do? It's your 18th birthday." And she said, "I want to skydive." And I was like, oh my gosh. Okay. Like this was novel to me. This was revealing. This was unexpected. I wouldn't have thought that she would want to do this. And so she's my firstborn, right? And I committed very early when she was born that if whatever she was experiencing, I wanted to experience. And early on, it was just food, right? Like if she's going to eat strained peas, I'm going to try the strained peas. If she's going to have breast milk, I'm going to try breast milk. Whatever I am, like if I'm deeming it something that she needs to do, then darn it, I'm going to, do it too. Kind of solidarity, whatever. So yeah, we went skydiving. We went up in a plane and then went outside of the plane and fell towards the earth. And it was interesting. I was kind of back and forth about this. Maybe I've talked about like this was going to happen. I'm sorry, I cannot remember. And for a while now, I've been kind of not a fan of heights. And I think I've talked about this, right? Where I kind of watch the, different videos online or whatever. And, you see those people who are skateboarding right on the edge of a tall building, and they go GoPro or whatever their version of it is. And you see it. And I remember feeling like, oh my, what are you doing? Hey, that's, ooh. And feeling a little uncomfortable for them. And then a couple of months ago, it hit me like, am I gonna? Oh my gosh, I'm going to be that person way up high, and there's like nothing. We're like, and I really thought, what did I get myself into? Maybe she's gonna change her mind, and I gave her plenty of opportunity to change her mind, and she was adamant, really, no, I want to do this. Okay, we're doing it. And so we set it all up, and as time got closer, it kind of just got whitewashed like everything else, right? Everything turns to gray in my head and my emotions and whatever. So we went up, and I found that my palms were a little bit sweaty, but I wasn't really, like, I wasn't thinking about, oh my, we're high or whatever. I didn't have thoughts. I didn't have necessarily feeling emotions, but sweaty palms. So it's clearly a physical reaction. And then, and so it's tandem, right? I mean, the first time skydiving, you're not going out by yourself. And so I'm strapped to the front of this dude, Derek, and we're sitting there, and he's like, okay, so when it's our turn to go, because there were like 11 people in the plane with us, I'm going to move us to the edge, to the door. You're going to put your feet out. You're going to put your head way back, and you're going to hold on to your straps, your harness straps, and I will push us out. And he just matter of factly, right? So it's like, okay, yeah, instilling confidence, like, okay, we're going to do this. Okay. And then, and our turn came, and we're like moving towards the door, and it's all him. Like, he's the one doing the locomotion. He's the one driving the car. And I'm just like out in front of him, and he's pushing me towards the door of an airplane 2 miles up. And there was a split second of kind of, oh my gosh, like, I'm not in control of this. Like, what, I mean, like, I just had no, there wasn't anything that I was going to do to solve a problem if one should occur. And I had no thoughts of what a problem could be, but, so there was just like that split second of, oh my gosh. And then we were out, and, it was just a lot of wind, right? Well, it wasn't really wind because I was the one doing the moving, but that's, it was like whatever, like 50-mile-an-hour gale constantly. And we were doing it, and we were like just out in the air, and it didn't feel like I expected, that sensation when you go up over a hill on a roller coaster or something, with that kind of flutter in your stomach. It never felt like that. I never felt it, and probably there was some emotional, physiological reaction going on, but it never felt like I was free falling. It just felt like I was in the wind. And then the parachute opened after, 45 seconds to a minute. And then we were kind of gliding on down. And there was another point. So, it's an emotion podcast, right? So another point where he's like, okay, I'm going to loosen up your harness just a little bit, because, we were tied up on each other, and I could see, like, having me just, half an inch lower might give him a little more maneuverability. And I was all for it, like, hey, whatever you got to do to get this parachute down safely, great. And so he did it. And then, like, 10 seconds later, I don't know what I want to say. Intrusive thought was just, oh, like, what if the strap got loose? What if whatever? And like, I couldn't get the thought out of my head, like, oh, the harness is just going to give loose, and that's it. And I mean, it faded. It wasn't overwhelming, but I found myself like clenching harder to my harness straps, shoulder straps, think like backpack kind of straps, right? And then, but it wasn't like it wasn't, Nora said it's like anxiety, and it probably is anxiety adjacent, but it was just like an intrusive thought that I couldn't shake, but I wasn't like, ooh, oh my gosh, that's it. This is it. I'm going to die. This is it. I'm going to die. It's just kind of like a what if, maybe it'll happen. Maybe it could happen. Is there a possibility it could happen? But it wasn't like, I didn't stop looking around and experiencing and trying to figure out, okay, where are we landing? Because I didn't know what the landing place looked like from above. There wasn't a giant X on the ground or anything like that. And so it wasn't the major thought in my head, but it was still there. It was still there, kind of floating around the background a little bit. And so I did that, and I wanted a long history of minor, mid-level, whatever accomplishments in my life, and I never feel anything from it, right? Like first half marathon, whatever. And yeah, I mean, I don't feel anything from having done that experience other than the thing that hit me was that my girl just had the best time, and she was all smiles, and we forked out the dough for the pictures and the video and stuff like that. And she's just all smiles, and she's like, that was awesome. And like for the first time that I can remember, so again, my memory is poor, but first time I can remember, I was part of something that I can look back and say, wow, I was able to do that for them. Like I was able to gift that experience to my girl. And that is the feeling and thought that I take away from the whole skydiving excursion. Was for the first time I really felt like I provided something positive to someone else. And that's my takeaway from the whole thing. And I'm glad that we did it, and I'm glad that she got to experience it, and I was glad that I was able to help make that happen. So when did I talk last to you guys? Was it before or after the marathon? I ran a marathon. I kind of ran a marathon. I'm going to leave this one short because I think I may have talked about it already, but it went poorly. I finished, though, 26.2 miles, and I'm not happy with it. But I did it, and I'm gearing up. I'm planning on doing another one this spring, which should be better weather and hopefully a better experience. So wish me luck. Fingers crossed on that. If I haven't talked about it and you want to hear about it, shoot me a message, which you can do at text me 248-648-1419 in the US, worldwide +1 248-648-1419 on WhatsApp, which I think is still on my phone, but you can email me at jamolki@gmail.com, JAMOALKI, and just let me know, like, hey, I want to hear that story, or tell me how you're doing. I'm gonna try to, again, I should have this pre-recorded. Like, I am going to try to get through my correspondence and reach out to all of you again. But I'm a broken record. So that's kind of what I've been up to. Work is still work. Mom is still doing okay. She's in a independent living situation now. We're trying to sell our house. So my 18-year-old is going off to college, and that's another interesting thing. So Nora's girl is going off to college as well, and Nora's already, like, I plan to cry the whole way home, and it's very emotional for her, and I'm just like, this is her plan, this is her route, and this is what she should be doing based upon that, and I don't feel anything for that. If anything, I'm the thing that I feel, if I feel it, is that, hey, there's one fewer kid in the house, and at some point we will be kid free, and won't that be different and nice? We'll say nice. It sounds mean to say nice, like, get rid of the stinking kids, and that's not the case. But, like, I don't know if we could move on. Like, the kids are off doing their thing and being successful based upon their definition of success, and if we could just move on from the dog, then, oh my gosh, home life would be better, not better, but more comfortable for me, right? For sure. Like, fewer interactions when I'm in my home space. And I'm really coming across very anti-people, and I'm not anti-people. I'm I don't know what I am. I don't know. But maybe with some more practice of being introspective weekly with you guys, I can come to get to the bottom of this. Yeah, so I mean, other than that, things are going along okay. The depression is just what it is. I really think I'm dealing a lot more with the AVPD, but at what point is it personality quirks or is it personality disorders? I don't know where the line is on that, but every day I'm just ready for bed at the end of the day. Like I want to take my trazodone and just let the day finish, go away. And I don't think it was not ever. I don't think it was always like that. Like I remember there were times, right, where it was like, I just don't want to go to bed yet. I just don't want to go to bed yet. And like I don't know, things I do remember, like reading books. Like I didn't want to. Well, one more chapter, and not necessarily like clinging to friends when we would I would hang out with a small group of friends in high school, and we would hang out together, or even early on in college, I guess. And it wasn't like, oh no, let's not say goodnight yet. But like I was fine just doing until things dispersed naturally. And now I'm just, is it bedtime yet? Is it bedtime yet? It's a running joke in the house. Is it bedtime yet? No. Sometimes you're an adult, and if you want to go to bed, you can go to bed. And other times it's like, no, it's not bedtime yet, and whatever. Yeah, but I still have that. Yeah, but basically, things are going okay. I am aware. I'm conscious of the fact that, by any number of measures, my life is good. Whether or not I feel it and appreciate it is different. Like, as I can appreciate it, but whether I really feel it and value it and know it and truly see it is another story. So, yeah. Okay. So, hey, we're going to go see Thor today. Woohoo. Nora has her company is half day Fridays during the summer, so we're going to go see a matinee. Another step into our old agedness is going to earlier movies to save money. And so we're going to do that. And I'm trying to get myself on a couple other podcasts, as a guest with people, and we'll see if that happens. I'll share links with you guys. Maybe see if I can run the show through this feed. And I'm still looking to have guests and ideas on what you want to hear about and talk about. And reach out to me. Make me aware of who's listening. I see people still listen a little bit, even though I'm not very regular, and I appreciate that. And I still get emails now and then like, hey, I'm a new listener, blah, blah. And I do appreciate that. And reach out to me. Let me know how you're doing. If you've ever jumped out of a plane. My youngest so we're like, what are we going to do on your birthday? And she's trying to come up with something. So if you got ideas on something that you can't do until you're 18, that would be an experience, I'd love to hear them. My joke is I'm going to buy her a carton of cigarettes, but no, that's gross. Don't do that. But we'll see. Okay. So that's it. I've already covered how to get a hold of me. I appreciate you all taking time out of your day to listen to me yammer in my car. And yeah, until next time, everybody be safe and be well. Thanks.